Guns are controlled bombs. Literally. Take a bomb and seal it in a chamber with one purposefully weak side, and you have the basic principles of a firearm. Now, if you follow some basic rules, principles, and understand firearm states, carrying or handling a firearm is no more dangerous than carrying a hammer or a rock. If you don't, you're carrying a bomb you aren't controlling around family and friends. There's a handful of core rules. Guns are considered loaded if you are not looking at an empty chamber and magazine well. This can be shorthanded to all guns are considered loaded for almost every use case, but having it written like this also allows for a safe disassembly of Glock-style pistols. Nothing in the chamber and something in the magazine is not an empty gun. In fact, the term for this is cruiser ready. Cruiser ready means this is the state cops keep guns in police cruisers to be safer, but also be ready to rock and roll quickly. This is not a truly safe condition as much as an acceptable compromise for some in a variety of situations. Muzzle direction. Keep the gun pointed in the safest direction at all times. You don't want the gun to ever be pointed at something you don't intend to kill. Remember, guns arc. Rifles pointed up become long-range dangers. Down is usually a safe direction unless you're specifically on rocks, metal, or concrete. Booger hook off bang switch. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're about to pull it. This prevents a trip from being a trip to the hospital, or at least reduces the chances of it. Know your target, what is around and behind it, as well as what it's made of. Don't shoot at trees. The shrapnel from that tends to be randomized, and you can die just as easily from wood in the neck as you can metal. Know what your backstop is. If you're on personal property or in the woods, your backstop should be significantly higher than where you're shooting at and far more substantial than what you're shooting. Know your local laws and try to do better than them, because moral and legal don't mean the same thing. In New Hampshire, it's 300 feet from any developed thing, but the groups I shoot with tend to treat that like it's meters and use it as a minimum to try and significantly beat. That developed thing line is a good way to think about it. Anywhere people could be, a trail, a road, campsites, don't shoot anywhere near these things. Know what your gun is and what it will do. Get into the habit that as soon as a gun is in your hands, you check the chamber and know the status of it. Know how to operate the gun itself. If you don't, ask someone who does before you start handling it. Have someone go through the manual of arms with you. Know how to clear the gun, know how to lock it open, if you can, know how to remove the magazine, if you can, and how to drop the slide or bolt. Different guns will function differently. Locked and loaded is a common movie line that refers to, originally, a state single-action firearms can regularly be carried in. The idea is that you have a round loaded into the chamber, and the hammer is back, but locked because the safety is on. Now, striker-fired guns can be locked and loaded if they have a manual safety. If they don't, they are either empty, cruiser-ready, or hot is the term used for guns with no safety and one in the chamber, or with the safety disabled and one in the chamber. Now, this is not unsafe as much as it is arguably less safe than something with a manual switch. That said, if you follow all of the rules and keep it hot only when it's either in a holster that covers the trigger with solid protective materials like Kydex or metal, or in use in your hands, a gun that is hot is no more or less dangerous than one that is locked and loaded. What it is less forgiving of errors. Treat guns with respect. They are not training devices, they are not toys, they are weapons and tools with immense capability for destruction. Train with them like they are lethal extensions of yourself. You own everything that comes out of it. If you don't know something, ask. There's no such thing as a dumb question on the range. It is always better to ask if you don't know something, and I would always have more respect for the person who was brave enough to ask a question to confirm something they didn't know than the person who risked other safety on an assumption. Find out what your gun is rated for and use that specific ammo only. The terms +P and +P+ essentially mean there is more charge than there should be, and only some guns will be rated to shoot them. Don't put them in yours if yours isn't. The best piece of advice I can give you for gun safety is learn medical care and emergency medicine to the highest level that you can. If you're going to be around machines that poke holes in people, being able to patch those holes is just common sense. If you ever have to call 911 because of an emergency at the range, your specific language will matter. Do not say, "There has been a shooting." Always say, "training incident." Training incidents get ambulances. Shootings get a kinetic response from the police. One of these is significantly better. Anyway, that's it for me. Sorry about that short break, been dealing with a bunch of medical issues and real-world problems. Had a roommate threaten me with their guns, which 0 out of 10 do not recommend. She'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming in the very near future. Check me out on Patreon. Patreon's definitely the best place to be supporting the work directly. Big shout out to Violet Riley and Molly McAllister, who are in the shout out gang. That's gonna be it from me. Stay dangerous. Keep each other safe. And remember, moral doesn't mean legal, and Stonewall was a fucking riot. Peace.